Hi guys, welcome to our very first interview, and I am so excited to be sharing this with you. We sit down with award-winning director, cinematographer and editor Adekunle Adejuyigbe, popularly known as Nodash, to share on his craft and what has brought him thus far in the film industry in Nigeria. With several award-winning projects under his belt like Isoken, Journey to Self, and his own personal award-winning film, The Delivery Boy, Nodash has a wealth of knowledge that young filmmakers can tap into. Enough talk, let's get right into it.
My name is Adekunle Adejuyigbe. People in the film industry call me Nodash, and I'm a Nigerian filmmaker. Right from, I think, 300 level, I knew I wasn't going to work as an engineer. It was clear. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to be in the film industry. But I knew what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to do it. So I spent the rest of my degree, my years in university, figuring out how to do it, and I did. So I was a writer and a director who needed a job, became an editor, and then found out I needed cinematography to tell a story, so I learned cinematography also. And then I think you can say the rest is history no, it's not your history. But that's how I got in. By professional, I'm assuming you mean school, film school. No, I didn't go to film school, but I read everything that they read in film school. I studied, I found out, I didn't have the money to go to film school, but I had the resources. We have the internet, and I also had, I could buy books, So I studied pretty much everything you study in film school, maybe even more. And by the time I had enough money to go to film school, some film schools were already calling me to come lecture there, so it made no sense. I have a very open-minded family, but no matter how open-minded your family is, they still look at you like, film, are you sure? And I don't blame anybody for that. So at the point when I started, the film industry wasn't big. Not a lot of people were making money, and the few people who were there were not seen as serious-minded people, even though I think that was wrong, but they just were perceived to not be serious. So I didn't get any resistance, but I definitely got some, are you sure? But that was about it. See, the thing is, you can't live your life worrying about resistance, because you get resistance all the time. Do you understand? So for me, it wasn't a big deal. Even now, they're still, I'm sure till forever. Whenever you want to do something big that's a deviation from the norm, you're going to get resistance. Not because people don't like you or because people are not intelligent. It's just that there's no precedence for what you're doing. So naturally, people will be afraid for you. And I understand that. But if I can see my own path to it, then I appreciate the resistance, but it doesn't bother me. Starting something in your studios was very easy. Like I said, it was just registering, corporate affairs commission, simple, done. But running the company, now that's where the challenge is there. Because one, you have a company that really is just a piece of paper, but when you want to turn that into a business, the story changes. Because now you have to, one, get people who will work with you. Then in some cases create demand for your product, because before I came into the film industry, the Nigerian film industry was already an international phenomenon. It was known as Nollywood everywhere. So I didn't create Nollywood. I came into the Nigerian film industry. And that tells you that people already had a way of doing things that they felt was fine. They had stories they were telling. You can't argue against the facts. And the fact is, this Nollywood thing, it's an international phenomenon. So you can't go in there and say, you guys don't know what you're doing. They'll be like, I'm sorry, how do you think we achieved what we now have? So one of the things we had to do from early on was create a demand for what we were bringing. Show people that, listen, it can be better. And when it's better, you'll make more money. And that wasn't very easy. Do you understand? So a lot of times, we had to spend our own money to create projects. I'm sure you can still find some on YouTube, good people there, the zombie. We'll just shoot stuff to illustrate. Because you can see, this is a visual industry. You can't tell people your ideas, you have to show them. Do you understand? So that's pretty much what we had to do. Creating that demand and then catering to that demand. Do you understand? Making sure we don't drop the ball at any point in time. Those were the challenges I'd say we faced at the beginning. And now it's even still, because now we've created, there are certain departments in the film that the film industry did not recognize, like focus filming, grip departments. At a certain point, people did not even recognize them. People didn't even know they were, these were big-time filmmakers, did not even know these departments were necessary. Do you understand? So we had to really, really go through that process of showing people what it meant and showing them the value. Do you understand? And also working hard to raise the audience's tastes. And, when the audience demands more, the producers will step up. So that needed to be, and we did that through music videos, did that through films and all these projects that we put out, and also just making sure that we sensitize the people to what needed to be done. And we are still doing it. It's a long process. We are still in the process. What would I do differently in hindsight? Actually, I don't know. Because anything I would say, of course, personally, I've been in uncomfortable situations. Starting a business is never easy anywhere in the world. I've made mistakes, but for every mistake I made, I learned something. So do I really want to undo all the lessons I've learned? I don't think so. Do you understand? So would I do anything differently? No, I wouldn't even ask for more money at the beginning. No, I like the way I started. Zero capital. Because it teaches you how to handle money. So, no, I wouldn't change anything. But foresight, I would change a lot of things going forward. But for hindsight, I'm fine.
Yeah, fine.
Yes. People say you should specialize, but at the end of the day, are we not all just telling stories? So whether it's commercials, whether it's, at the end of the day, I'm telling a story, I'm communicating an idea with the audience using the same means, visuals and sound. So you can call it a documentary, you can call it a TV commercial, you can call it a film. At the end of the day, a film is like several commercials pieced together, it's just longer. You understand what I'm saying? So it really doesn't register in my mind that I'm doing different things. I'm just telling stories in whatever way I can find the stories. Okay, when I'm directing, my inspiration comes from the material. I'm a story-driven artist. So everything I do as a director, as a cinematographer, as whatever, has to serve the story. Do you understand? So I pick the story, I read it, if I like it, and it's something I want to direct. Okay, good. If I feel it needs to be adjusted, sure, I would suggest that and I will make the adjustments. After that, I just go through the regular process of breaking it down. What do I really want to achieve? One of the questions that I always ask myself as a director is, at the end, I believe that there are different layers to stories, right? There is what the people see, and there's how the people feel at the end of the film. So I try to clearly define those two things. Once that is clear, then I bring all the elements from production design, cinematography, editing, to achieve that feeling. So one of the things that I try to do with film is to explore things that are on my mind. So at the point where I wrote Delivery Boy was at that point where we were hearing about suicide bombers in Nigeria. And the first time I heard that somebody tried to blow up a plane and the guy was Nigerian, I remember clearly my reaction and the reaction of all the people around. We were like, nah, that they should check that guy, he's not Nigerian. Because Nigerians don't kill themselves. At least that is what I would feel. But over time, it became clear that these guys, or at least some of them, were actually Nigerians. And it got me thinking, what would make somebody go through this extreme? Why would you want to kill yourself? cost like that? And then also, what are the things in the society that have to, because I believe whenever anything good or bad happens in society, it can be the product of that one person. So I came up with Delivery Boy, which was my own theory as to what could possibly lead someone to that. But to be clear, Delivery Boy is not about terrorism. You know, the whole terrorist thing is like the canvas upon which I painted the other ideas that I really had. Do you understand? I don't want to give too much. You have to see the film. But really, it's just me asking myself and the audience, like, are we really as innocent as we think we are? And also, maybe we should start opening our minds to other causes of, instead of saying, oh, we're all going to Sambisa to go and kill somebody. Maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the problem is closer home. Maybe there's something I can do today that will prevent somebody blowing you up in 6 months. I really wanted the audience to watch Delivery Boy and come out and realize that there is no black and white. Do you understand? Like, it's not a case of this is good, this is bad. That in real life, everybody lives in the gray area. And if you are not really careful, the gray can turn black very quickly. Do you understand what I'm saying? Two things any upcoming, well, we're all upcoming, but any newbie should have. One, you should be able to see your vision even when nobody else is seeing it. Because you get to a point, I mean, it sounds cliche, you know, you hear it in motivational books like, see your vision, but man, that thing is true. Because you get to a point, no other person sees it. I mean, literally, you are saying it and everybody thinks you're crazy. Now, there are points where you're actually crazy. So you should be able to know the difference that, okay, that sometimes then I'm crazy, and there are times when, if you can see the path, like if I take this step and this step and this step, and you can see the path to it, you should be able to stay on that course until you get there. And then also, something I like saying that a lot of people, well, some people don't like hearing is, don't ask for help too soon. Like, chill. Go through your process. Yeah, I mean, I've seen people say, I just left school, so right now I want to start making films. I don't know anything about making films, but I need 50 million naira to make a film. I'm like, are you sure you need? I think you should chill. Maybe shoot a film with your iPhone first. Take it from there, you understand? Yeah, so those are things that I mean, there are many things, but as long as you are not going to quit and you know exactly what you want to do, you'll figure the rest out. I had a plan. In my own humble opinion, I think what's worked so far is just the fact that I came here with a plan. Even when I was a 300 level, 400 level, before I even came to Lagos, I had a plan. Did the plan work exactly the way I thought it would? Hell no. But did the guidelines of the plan work? Yes. Absolutely, it's still working. And I think everybody should have a plan. Have a clear plan, because when you get to the industry, any industry for that matter, the industry has its own energy. And if you don't come strong, you are going to be converted to the energy of the industry. So if you have to be clear, this is what I came here to do. And you have to find a way to hold on to that. And surround yourself, whether you surround yourself with yourself, nobody else, or you surround yourself with people who share the same energy. You understand what I'm saying? I think that is critical, because at every point, new ideas will come up, and if you're not careful, you are going to derail. Well, misconceptions about the industry. Some people feel it's kind of like what people think about Nigeria. Do you understand? And people say, think about countries like the US, the United States of America. See how well they're doing. I'm like, the US is about 200 and something years old. You know, now that's not an excuse for failure. However, there is a natural process that countries and industries go through. There's a point where the country is formed, there's a point where people try to exploit it, there's a point where criminals get into it, and there's a point where the people wake up and then the country starts developing. Every country goes through that process. And we have gone through this process, and we're still going through that process. Do you understand? Same with the Nigerian film industry. There's a point where people studied and they're like, what are these idiots doing? Then there's a point where, oh, they're making money. Then there's a point where everybody rushes in and they think it's easy to just make the money. Then they make mistakes and then they stop and they recalibrate and then they now start doing things right. I think we've gone through all those phases. We are now at that point where people are beginning to recalibrate. Where people are beginning to see that. I mean, there was a point where it was all about, I've heard people say to me, it doesn't matter what your film is about. Just put 2 comedians in the film and people will buy it. They tried that for about a year, now they see it's not working. There are some people who say just put 50 stars in the film. They've tried it, it's not working so well. So we're going back to brass tracks, which is you've got to give people value for their time. Your story has to be good, your execution has to be good. Respect the audience enough to give them good stuff. They are not stupid, don't treat them like fools. If somebody is going to give you 1 hour, 30 minutes of their life, you had better entertain them. Do you understand? So we're in a good, now we're getting, I mean, there was a time when a film like Delivery Boy would not get shown anywhere. But now, do you understand? So it's what it is.
Alright guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Please be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section below. Let us know what kind of questions you'd like us to ask, who would you like us to interview next. Also be sure to subscribe. Until next week, go out there and shoot.